purpose of Budget University is to discuss generational wealth and to
Yes.
get out of the social media spotlight of this is how much money I gotta have. I need this Louis Vuitton. I need
Mm-hmm.
materialistic things when that's not it.
Yes.
And I love to, I've spoken with Fat Joe, I've spoken with Chaos, I've spoken with so many other previous people that have voices and platforms, because I feel like you can hear it from me. When we hear it from figures like you and other people, it kind of, for some reason, it hits a ding.
Yeah.
So what, for your opinion, how do you feel about generational wealth, and what does generational wealth mean to you?
Yes. Generational wealth is something that's shared. It's
Yes.
not shared. I think that sometimes we get so caught up in like, well, let me do good, let me do good. But in order for all of us to win for the long run, we have to share the wealth. You have to pass on the tools and the things and the knowledge that's necessary for not when you pass off the wealth that they can maintain it, grow it, and pass it off again. That's
Right.
the ideal generational wealth, is to pass it on from generation to generation. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to be the only rich one in the family and that's it. And
Right.
nobody else have anything. You have to share and pass it on. And for me, that's what generational wealth is about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's how I see it too, because a lot of people are like, well, what do I do with this? Or we're so quick to sell a property or sell a
Yeah.
family business because we see the quarter behind it, when we don't
Hmm.
understand those quarters can turn into 50,000 quarters if we just hold on
Yeah.
to something and we just educate ourselves. So with
Yes.
you, you have done, you won, and you won the Olympics. Congratulations! I'll never
Thank
forget it.
you.
Me and my sister Christy were at a seafood spot. I forgot what
Uh-huh.
it was. And you came across with the flag, and I was like, and I was so happy for you. At that moment, it's like it triggered, because a lot of people don't know that sometimes wealth is also just success. It doesn't also
Yeah.
have to be money. So for you, it's like when that started coming in and more gigs started to come in, how were you able to, when you start seeing more money, how were you like, okay, Michelle, I need to start saving. I need to buy a house. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this. Like, what was it
Yeah.
for you?
Well, if I'm gonna be totally honest, y'all, I wasn't the best at budgeting. I'm still not the best.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still working on learning how to manage money correctly, because
Mm-hmm.
we think just saving for what we need right now and making sure we have enough money right now is really saving and budgeting. It's not. You have to
Mm-hmm.
have a short term and a long term goal with your money. And at that time, I really only had a short term goal, and to get the house and to make sure I could take care of a few things. But then I didn't really think too much past that until after all that happened. I'm like, okay, now what? What's the next
Yeah.
step to do? And so I really think it's important that um, before you even get success, before you even try to really have success, learn how to manage and budget money beforehand. Because if you can handle $5, you can handle $50,000. If you don't know how to budget $5 and it runs through your hands like water, the $50,000 is going to run through your hands like water. And I saw that firsthand. Just dealing, I didn't even know how much money I made until it came tax time. I'm like, I made how much? Where at? I didn't say nothing. Like, what happened? But I was not being intentional with my money. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one thing. And if I'm just going to be frank with the Black community, we are not really taught early to how to be intentional with our money, to have a short term and a long term goal. We always taught you make sure you take care of yourself and get what you need and get a house, get a car. That's all you need. But no,
Right.
there's so many different levels to creating this generational wealth. And when we say wealth, y'all, it doesn't have to be millions and millions of dollars. Everybody's
Mm-hmm.
definition of wealth or what you need to take care of you or your family is different. So,
Mm-hmm.
but knowing that there's things that you can do that if you sacrifice a little bit now, you gain so much more in the future. And now I'm kind of getting hip to that. I'm learning that, okay, you know what, it's cool. I have enough money to eat out every day, but for this goal that I have for my future and my family, I can't eat out every day. And so I
Mm-hmm.
have to really live life different. But if I would have really thought about that before I hit like that top, your girl would be in a different place. I would have made some different moves, but I didn't know at that time until it was too late. But now it's not too late to learn and replan and redo. So that's what I'm in the process of doing now.
Yeah. And that's good that you say that you stopped and you looked and you acknowledged it. Because a lot of us stop, we look and we're like, I got more time. I got more time. And we
Yeah,
don't.
we
Because
don't.
it's like I hit 30. I'm like, dang, that went by fast, my 20s. And then I'm
Right?
like, people ask, well, how? I'm like, girl, I'm about to be 40 because you have to think ahead of time. And with your
Yeah.
money, you never know. And with COVID hitting and happening so fast, a lot of people were not prepared.
Yeah.
And we're learning that, oh crap, like I had 6 months saved in my account or 12 months saved, and COVID's lasting maybe 2 years, and I
Exactly.
need 2 years saved, or I need this amount of money saved up for what I have. So that's perfect. So for you, was that also a push for you to start your business that you have?
Yes, like I realized that I was more than an athlete, number one. I
Mm-hmm.
realized that. And then I was like, you know what? I want to be able to do this and I want to be able to do that. So it means if I want to do these things, that requires money. What other ways can I make money? And that was hard because when you're used to, especially, I hate to say it in this way because I don't want people to feel bad about a 9 to 5,
Mm-hmm.
but when you're used to trading time for money, that's the only way you can think about how to make money. But there's
Mm-hmm.
so many different ways that you can make money where you don't actually have to put in the time and be there 24/7 to do it
Right.
and build that passive income. That's how the rich stay rich.
Right.
They figure out different ways to have some kind of income coming in without them actually having to do it themselves. And that's what it kind of make me change my mind. Like, okay, now I get it. I got to put in the time to build it, but how can I get this automated? How can I save up to have enough stock so that my dividends could cover a bill? Like, there's all these different ways you can make money, but it does take some sacrifice to get that.
Yeah, and that's what I think that especially when it comes to my generation and this generation, we don't want
Hmm.
to sacrifice. I always say that we're in a microwave generation. We want it here, then, and now.
Listen,
Okay, I put $20 in the stock. I wake up. Where's my 1,000? That's not how it
right?
works. You
Mm-mm.
have to sacrifice and be like, okay. I tell people all the time, take a year out and just stack your money up
Hmm.
and you'll see where it goes. Just take a whole year out and just stack. Say, I'm not going out with friends. I'm not going here. I'm not going out to eat. I'm just gonna sit here and stack my money up
Yeah.
because I have to learn or I gotta pay off stuff.
Hmm.
And that's what's important
Yeah.
because we can't keep putting ourselves in debt because we want a new this or a new that when what we have is working just fine.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
because
important.
it's like you can create generational wealth or generational debt. And that's the
Yes,
real thing. Because the
yes,
bills that your mom and them had will get passed off to you. Not all of them, some of them, some things you're responsible for that day. If they have a house and they didn't take care of their house, you now have to pay for that house and you have to
right.
do whatever you have to do. If they owe taxes, you have to pay for that. There's so many different things that I think that we didn't know and we weren't taught, that we have to relearn how we look and see money. And not to say that you have to not do anything fun. So for me, I didn't go out and just keep buying purses and buying stuff. So my thing was every medal I get, I can
Hmm.
get a high end purse. Like I
Yes,
had to really reach a goal to get that high because I know with that goal, if I get a medal, that means I get extra money. I'm gonna take a
right.
little bit of the extra money, buy that one thing, and then that's it. So you have to kind of give and take a little bit with yourself, but know that the more you take, you need to have more coming in. So you want to balance out the
Give
two.
and take. Hmm.
Yeah.
So with you, because you have to maintain like your not your fitness lifestyle, not just your personal lifestyle, but you have to maintain your
Yeah.
fitness lifestyle. So how are you able to budget that in your budget? What's your mindset on budgeting? Because you have so much. Like, okay, I got to get a trainer. Okay,
Yeah.
I have to get shoes. I have to get outfits. If sponsors don't come,
Hmm.
how do you incorporate that in your budget?
Yeah. So what I'll do, like I try to, okay, so if there's certain things that I want to do, I know that I'm gonna get a certain amount of money from like USA Track and Field because they,
Hmm.
as an athlete, they will give you certain monies to do certain things. So when I get my medical stipend, I'll go barter with my masseuse and be like, hey, if I pay this 2,000 up front, can you give me X amount of massages for this?
Yes.
So then that way I'm getting more for the money by paying up front when I do get that bulk of money for something instead of trying to keep it for myself. I'm like, I know I got to put this money here and it's going to last me a little bit longer if I pay up front. And I actually saw that from somebody else when they said like, hey, go to your hairstylist and be like, hey, if I pay you for X amount of services for the whole year up front, can you take $10 off of every time, of all of it, and I pay you for
Hmm.
20 visits today? And
Right.
that made a lot of sense because I'm gonna go get my hair done anyways, and I'm probably gonna get my hair done about 20 times. Why not barter to where if I pay up front, if I can, to get X amount of dollars off, and that still saves me money in the long run. So those are some things that I kind of would save up to do instead of just like paying one at a time. I would save up and be like, hey, can I get, instead of 10 at this price, can I get 15 for this price?
Yes.
And that helped me a lot. And people understand because they know I was coming. I wasn't being, shady with it or trying to get out like, I really need this, but I need my money to stretch. So that was like some things that I did. And I'll actually like write out like how many times do I need to have a massage, for how long, and how much is that going to cost me, and then when's the next time I need to re-up. So then I will like save, and I get a speaking engagement or something, I'll take some of that money, put it to the side, because I know the next time I need to pay a bulk or something, now I have that money put to the side. But you have to know how much money you need to live, and then you need to know how much money you actually are spending. Because when you're spending and money coming in and you're not ever taking count for all the dollars you're getting and you're spending, you're going to always be broke. Always be broke. So having a plan for your money, have an idea of what things should cost. How much does it cost for you to eat every month? How much does it cost for you to go shopping every month? Because your girl had a bad habit. When them bonuses come in, I was like, swipe. And I'm like, dang, where'd my money go? Well, but when I started to take account for the things that I was spending, I was like, Michelle, you have a problem. Like, you don't know how to, give money. When I think I have $100, I'm like, I have $100 to spend. But no, I don't. When you have $100 coming in, you have, depending on your tax bracket, you got 20 to 30% going to taxes. You need to save about 10 to 20. I give 10% to Jesus. Hello. And then from there, I have my money to live. And trying to break down that my dollar isn't a dollar, that my dollar that I actually get to spend on myself is really more like 40 to 50 cents. You start spending your money a little differently.
So would you say that, like, for the discipline part of it, it's also the fact that you had to set goals for yourself?
You got to set goals. Like, I'm really big on goal setting, and I will make a goal on how much money to make, but not how much money I'm going to save or spend. So now I do play this game with myself where all the money that I have in my account for this month, like I have my little personal spending account, I will transfer money over. And then once that money is done, I have no more money to spend, right? And I don't put more money in it. So then it makes me be real cautious, like, okay, am I going to go to Chipotle today, or do I want to wait till next week? Like, because if I spend this, like, I just go here, got to go there. So it's going to put me about $50 for the last month. like, you really have to kind of move things around and be more cautious of it. And I was like, man, like, if I would have done this earlier, where I would be financially would be totally different. I would make different moves, because now I want to start investing in property. I want to start investing in stocks. And if I could have made these moves differently, some of my dividends from stocks could be paying my mortgage right now if I knew to do that. So now that we are in this era where information is at a press of a button, there's so many amazing people online who are giving away gems that we didn't know about, and that you can find out and change the trajectory of your life and your family's life. But it's up to you to actually seek it and then do it.
Yes. And that's what's so important, because it's like, if you know better, you do better.
Yes.
So it's like, once it comes to you and it comes across from you, it's like, okay, you have to set a goal for yourself. I have to save money this year. Like, a lot of my friends are like, all right, Shelby, because they're in Budget University, they're not going to participate in Black Friday. I'm like, don't. You're not missing nothing.
Yes.
And I tell them, even what I do, because when I bought my house this year, a year before, I literally had index cards around the house. And it said Dallas, it said buy a house. Because I had to stay focused.
Yes.
And that helped me make my decision on, when my friends like, hey, we're about to go to we're gonna want a boat ride. And I'm like, oh, all right. And I'm like,
yeah.
And I tell myself, that money, like Chipotle, that money, that $10 you're gonna spend at Chipotle, say, you know what, I'm not gonna go. But what I am gonna do is I'm gonna transfer this $10 to my savings account, and I can act like I did get Chipotle.
Yeah.
And it adds up.
Yeah. Because what I will do what I do sometimes, if I have leftover money from the end of that month, from the budget that I need, and I'll put it in my savings account. So then I'll start over with the main money. Yeah. Let's say it's $1,000. So if I had $200 left over from the month before, I will move it to my savings and not spend, not just add it on to that next month. So like doing those type of things help you add up and save money. And then next time I'm like, oh, let's see if I can only spend $500 this month. That was
Mm-hmm.
hard, but